Hello and welcome to a new week of Granada Reports. We are live with the news across the northwest.
Yeah, good evening. Thanks so much for joining us. Here's what's coming up on tonight's programme.
A woman is questioned by police following a suspected arson attack that caused the death of a 4-year-old girl in Manchester. We're live with the latest.
Thieves used deep-fake technology to swindle Sharon, but now she's fighting back. The kindness of strangers, celebrating the nation's most generous city.
Great success for the game, in general, in terms of, the exposure, especially for the English games, but I'm sure there's a few other teams that want to come in next year.
And we should be treated to some spring-like temperatures over the next couple of days. I'll have all the details in the weather forecast later on in the programme.
So please do stay with us. But first tonight, that suspected arson attack in Manchester, which has claimed the life of a little girl.
Yeah, the fire tore through the house in Rusholme at around lunchtime yesterday.
The 4-year-old was taken to hospital but died from her injuries. Our correspondent Rob Smith is at the scene. And Rob, the police have described this as an awful incident. What more can you tell us?
I can tell you that the sight of a firefighter carrying a bouquet of flowers down past this cordon earlier today was enough to stop anyone in their tracks. It is almost impossible to comprehend just what they were faced with when they were called out at 12:35 yesterday afternoon. A house just along this road, up in flames, with a 4-year-old girl inside. Now, fire crews did manage to get her out of the building. Paramedics took her to hospital, but her injuries were simply too severe. There just was no way to save her life. Neighbours I've spoken to have described an awful smell of smoke in the air and blue lights galore everywhere. Fire engines, police cars, a helicopter. One told me that it just isn't the human experience. It just doesn't seem real for a 4-year-old girl to lose her life. Many cannot believe what has happened right around the corner from where they live. Just in the last few minutes, forensics teams have left the scene. They've been gathering evidence all day. Officers say they will, in their words, leave no stone unturned in their investigation, and it's an investigation that already has a 44-year-old woman in custody. She's been arrested on suspicion of arson with intent to endanger life. Detectives revealing that she was known to that 4-year-old girl, known to her. They say there is, as they put it, no threat to the wider community, and it's a community tonight that really cannot believe what has happened right here.
OK, Rob, in Manchester, for now, many thanks indeed.
Well, next, the trial of 8 men accused of grooming and raping 2 teenage girls in Rochdale.
Yes, one of the girls, known as Girl A, to protect her identity, told the jury that she'd been groomed to such a degree that at the time she didn't realise she'd been abused.
Yeah, and just a warning that there is some harrowing detail in this case at Manchester's Minchell Street Crown Court.
Tim Scott joins us from there now. Tim.
Yes, well, today in court, the second complainant in this case, known as Girl A, began giving her evidence in person. There are 8 defendants in this trial, and it's alleged that Girl A, along with Girl B, who's already testified, was abused by a number of men in Rochdale between 2001 and 2006. Last week, the jury had been shown police video interviews of Girl A in which she detailed the abuse she alleged that she suffered, and today, speaking from behind a screen, Girl A was cross-examined by Lisa Wilding KC, who represents one of the defendants, Mohammed Zaid. She was taking over her police interviews in which she said she met Zaid at his market stall at Rochdale Market, where he sold socks and underwear. At first, she said, he seemed nice, but then he began telling her that she was beautiful and he wanted to have sex with her. When he took her to a Manchester warehouse to pick up stock for his stall, they began to have sex in the back of his car. She was 14 at the time this is alleged to have happened. It became a frequent thing, she told the court. She was later asked in court about various visits she made to a sexual health clinic in Rochdale in 2004, 2003 and 2004. She told staff that she wasn't sexually active, which she agreed today was a lie. You lied to get the pill and not get police or social social services involved, she was asked. Yes, she answered. In a previous statement, she told police she'd had sex with around 30 men at this time. She was asked, at this time you say you were being sexually abused by a lot of people. Did you tell anyone at the clinic? No, she answered. I thought it was normal. I didn't know it was abuse at that time. She was asked, if you thought it was normal, then why lie? I thought they were friends, she said, referring to the men. I thought I'd get them into trouble. All 8 defendants deny all of the charges against them, and the trial will continue again tomorrow here at Minshall Street Crown Court in Manchester. Katie Gamal.
Tim Scott in Manchester, thanks so much.
Well, let's take a look at some more of the day's news now. And a 24-year-old man has died after a car hit a bridge and caught fire on the M62 in Greater Manchester. The car came off the carriageway late on Sunday night and struck a bridge between junctions 19 and 18 in Middleton.
2 men have been arrested on suspicion of attempted murder after a man was shot in the legs in Liverpool on Friday. A 42-year-old man is in hospital in a stable condition after the attack on Alt Cross Road in Croxteth. The 22-year-old and a 19-year-old have been released on bail pending further investigation.
Rochdale and Oldham are to get an equal share of £40 million in government money for regeneration. In Rochdale, the cash will be used to help build houses on the former site of a retail park, and the money will also go into improving retail in Oldham with an outdoor market and redevelopment of empty shops.
An investigation's been launched into how the Isle of Man's flagship ferry Manxman ran aground. The steam packet company is blaming low spring tides on Saturday night for causing the vessel to get stuck in Douglas Harbour. Passengers had to wait for the water levels to rise before being allowed off. The underside of the ferry is being inspected to ensure no damage was suffered before sailing again.
And to Hollywood, where celebrations are continuing for an Oscar winner from Liverpool. Set decorator Lee Sondales took home the award for production design in the film Wicked. It's his second ever award after he won a BAFTA in 2020 for his work on the film 1917. Lee accepted the Oscar with his collaborator Nathan Crowley. And if you want to catch up on Hollywood's big nights, then ITV's Oscars Highlights is on tonight at 10:45, just after our late news.
Well, next to a woman who's been scammed out of hundreds of pounds after being duped by a deep fake of one of her heroes. Sharon Fernando was looking forward to one-to-one fitness training sessions with Jovino McLean, the Manchester-based coach and influencer, after weeks of talking over social media about a personal training plan.
But the videos she thought she was getting from Jovino has been manipulated by artificial intelligence as part of an online fraud scam, which they are both now encouraging others to be aware of. Jamal Williams-Thomas has this report.
Good evening, Sharon. I'm so glad to meet you and I can't wait to see you. I really love to work with you and also use you to inspire others not to give up.
Would you spot anything wrong with this clip?
Love you.
Sharon Fernando thought that she had received a video from exercise specialist Jovino McLean. The person had convinced her to pay £400 for a training session and didn't show up.
I said, yeah, OK. I don't have £400, but I scrimped and scraped and didn't eat properly and stuff like that to get the £400. And after paying, he didn't text me again. I waited from 7 o'clock until about 1 o'clock, and I thought, well, by the time we get there, it's not worth it. He's not coming, obviously. And I almost went onto Facebook, and I was going to wipe the floor with him.
But instead, Sharon drove 75 miles north to Manchester to confront Jovino.
I charged my car, left Tutbury at 8:30, sat nav, and I got here. And I saw him through the window because I've seen him on videos, I recognised him. So I stood there, got like this, and it says on the door, you're welcome, but you have to smile. Well, I was not smiling.
This is the original video that was manipulated.
Find it, cheer it, celebrate it, embrace it. Being different is special. We live in a world where people are mean, people are judgmental.
It was scary because if you do know me and you know my voice and my mannerisms, you can tell straight away it's not my voice. It was like a Yorkshire accent and the face was changed. But this lovely lady's never met me in person.
What could this do to your reputation?
It could fully ruin my reputation. If you get a message off Jovino asking for money, for this is disabled and disadvantaged people. I've never took a penny and I never will.
If you're not sure whether or not a video is real or fake, first thing you can do is look at the background and the quality of the video. The furniture should make sense, the lines should be straight for things like books. Secondly, it's just to be skeptical. Don't assume just because something's a video or a phone call that it's automatically real.
The real Jovino offered some sessions to Sharon for free, where she managed to get even a bit of revenge.
So imagine this is the fake Jovino. Hit the fake Jovino as hard as you can.
Sharon may have lost £400, but the new connection she has gained is priceless. Jamal Williams-Thomas, ITV News, Blakely.
Gosh, that's really scary, isn't it?
Yeah.
I would never be able to tell that was a fake.
Terrifying stuff. OK, still to come on tonight's programme.
What next for Rugby League's Great American Adventure? I'm in Las Vegas, where I've been hearing from Wigan and Warrington fans about their historic first match stateside.
And some nice weather to get out and about over the next few days. Spring really has sprung here in the northwest. I'll have all the details in the forecast in a few minutes.
Now with a look at what's to come on the ITV Evening News at 6:30. Here's Charlene.
Coming up, the latest from the Prime Minister on the path to peace in Ukraine. After a weekend of frantic diplomacy with European leaders, the Prime Minister outlines his 4-point plan to MPs in the Commons. German police arrest a suspect after a car's driven into a crowd in the western city of Mannheim. And
Honora.
A big win for the little film that's made Oscars history. But who else was celebrating in Hollywood last night? Well, we'll fill you in, so join us for that and more from 6:30.
Well, next tonight, the city that's been named the most generous in the UK for 2024, and it is one of our own.
Yeah, Liverpool raised £1.3 million following the Southport attack last year. £250,000 of that was raised just to help rebuild Spello Community Hub and Library in Walton after it was targeted by rioters.
And according to the website GoFundMe, that's per capita more than anywhere else in the country. So their CEO flew over from San Francisco to present the city with a special award. Tasha Kachiri has more.
So with that, Steve, congratulations to you and everyone in Liverpool for being such amazing people.
Liverpool is officially the most generous city in the UK, but we all knew that.
There's a real generosity of the way in which people here interact with each other, and that's obviously great now that it's been recognised.
Tim Cadogan, the CEO of GoFundMe, has given the city this special award in the newly renovated Spello Library.
You can see it actually in the numbers that Liverpudlians rallied around each other in a way, that surpassed anyone else in the UK.
I was surprised that the fundraiser went as far as it did, but I wasn't surprised to see so many people from the local area rallying around a good cause. The people around here are the salt of the earth. They would give you anything. And I think that everyone should feel so proud of themselves for reclaiming this space and rebuilding this space. They're just a credit to their community.
Tasha Kachiri, ITV News, Liverpool.
Yeah, we always knew they were a generous bunch, Liverpudlians, right?
I always bring in snacks to share with you, don't I?
You certainly do. That's why I can't rid of any of this lockdown timber that I seem to be carrying with me constantly.
And you can watch more of Tasha's piece on ITVX. Just head over to the homepage, select news, and then make sure your region is set to Granada.
Yeah, you are very good with the treats. Thank you. Time for sport now, and what a weekend for Rugby League over in Las Vegas. Hey, Mike.
Yeah, wasn't it amazing? A moment of history for the sport, and particularly for fans of Wigan Warriors and Warrington Wolves. But it was Wigan who had the biggest party as they came out on top in the first ever Super League match on American soil. Wigan won by 48 points to 24, but both sets of fans deserve huge credit for waking up the Americans to what Rugby League is all about. Chris Hall was with them in Las Vegas.
The thrills of Las Vegas lured them 5,000 miles to face fans from 5 minutes up the road. They'd conquered the Strip together, but here in the desert, it was time to draw a line in the sand.
Oh,
it's absolutely amazing, full of primrose and blue, all representing our colours. The Wire on tour. Come on, the Wire!
Oh, it's just crazy. It's just like kind of a once in a lifetime. Hopefully it's not once in a lifetime opportunity, but it'll happen again. But it's just been crazy the whole week.
You're seeing Australian shirts, Warrington shirts. You're seeing them all, and the banter's going on down the strip all the way to the stadium.
Is it not a bit too hot for a scarf?
I think it is. I think it is.
Are you not a bit hot in that?
I'm absolutely roasting, but it's keeping the sun off, you know. It's a Wigan day out, so who cares?
I have lived in the US for 30 years, and so I drove from California just to be here.
And you've kept the accent all these years.
I have, love. I was hoping somebody would bring me a green Alch's pie, but they didn't.
We came here on our honeymoon, so got married in England, came in on our honeymoon 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Be honest, which is best, this or your honeymoon?
This is definitely the best, definitely.
I'm going to say I agree.
It is a historic day for British Rugby League. Never before has there been a competitive match on American soil, and what a venue to stage it. The Allegiant Stadium, built at a cost of $1.9 billion.
Unbelievable, and just when you first got out there, it was like a final. You know, you just caught yourself watching and listening, and it was incredible. They've done a great job, and we're very lucky, but I feel like we've earned to be here.
I think it's been a great success for the game, you know, in general, in terms of, you know, the exposure, especially for the English games. We'd certainly like to come back and have another crack, but I'm sure there's a few other teams that want to come here next year.
We've seen some great sights this week of the fans mixing and mingling on the Las Vegas Strip. What's been the highlights of the whole week for you?
I think Fremont Street earlier in the week, when every club attended, and just seeing how much presence Wigan had as a club. I would like to see our players, they're quite a humble group, but to see them propelled onto that stage under the bright lights, I was really pleased for them.
Wigan! 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 Amazing, can't believe it, I can't speak.
The atmosphere was great, the crowd was massive, it was a once in a lifetime thing, and it was great.
What do you think Americans will make of this whole experience?
I think they'll be very excited. They'll want to see more.
A bit down after the performance of Warrington.
Not spoilt the week though for us. It's been a great atmosphere.
Yeah.
Proper rugby league fans.
Travel all this
I
way.
don't think they tried hard enough.
Yeah, they didn't perform as good.
Safe trip home, guys.
Yeah, last year.
They headed back to the Strip in contrasting moods, but if Las Vegas teaches one lesson, it's that a change in fortunes is never far away.
So, what next for Rugby League's great American adventure? Well, I can tell you there is an appetite within Super League to do all of this again, perhaps for the next 3 years, while Australia still has the deal with the Allegiant Stadium. That place takes some filling, so I'm hearing it needs to be well-supported teams. I'm hearing St Helens and Leeds mentioned, but I can tell you that Lee's charismatic owner, Derek Beaumont, has been out here all week getting a taste for this. So maybe this time next year we could see wall-to-wall leopard print under the nose of the MGM Lion. Chris Hall, ITV News, Las Vegas.
OK, a very quick look now at some of the other sporting headlines from the weekend. And Preston North End will face Aston Villa in the quarter-finals of the FA Cup. They are one win away from a trip to Wembley in the semis. That's after they beat Lancashire rivals Burnley 3-0. North End, the only championship side left in the competition. Manchester City are the only other North West team. They'll head to Bournemouth next after their 3-1 win over Plymouth Argyle. Wigan Athletic are searching for a new manager after parting company with Sean Maloney. He was relieved of his duties after Saturday's League One defeat to Reading. Manchester United kept the pressure on Women's Super League leaders Chelsea. They beat Leicester 2-0. That's their 7th straight league win. They are 5 points adrift of top spot. And it's congratulations to Luke Littler, who made sure there was one major win for Warrington over the weekend. The 18-year-old darts world champion won the UK Open for the first time, thrashing James Wade 11-2 in the final in Minehead. Finally, let's end by heading back to Vegas, where it was a double celebration for two Wigan supporters. Adam Arstle and Kim Young will head back to Wigan engaged after Adam popped the question on the Vegas Strip.
So incredibly happy.
Yeah,
so happy.
I'm glad she said yeah. I mean, that's why I did it on a gondola, because if she said no, I'd have pushed her in.
Congratulations, guys. Well, it doesn't sound like Kim had much of a say in that, does it? Say yes or you're going in the water.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations to them both. Anyway. They could get married next year there, couldn't they? OK, well, it's the high-tech show that's based on a classic Victorian novel, and Jeff Wayne's musical version of The War of the Worlds is back on tour, and it's coming right here to the Northwest.
And if you're asking yourself, is that the one that goes...
The answer is yes, of course it is. And Gamal's little feet in his Crocs under the desk here were bopping away.
Crocs?
He's got his Crocs on with his
Trade
suit.
secrets. Stop it. Crocs.
Well, the man behind that music joined Gamal in the studio to tell us why the new show is bigger and better than ever.
Well, Jeff, many thanks indeed for coming in today and speaking to us. Firstly, how nice is it to be back in the Northwest and to be staging this show in both Liverpool and Manchester?
It's always a wonderful return. We've been touring The War of the Worlds since 2006, and we've always played these cities. And there's something special about, I find, the northern cities anyway, and Manchester and Liverpool are really at the heart of it.
Certainly is. And the original album is so iconic. Everybody knows the song for War of the Worlds. Did you envisage that 50 years after the original album, you'd still be coming back for more, and fans would still be coming back for more?
I couldn't have guessed by a million to one that it had a life that it's turned into. And I could only think, as I believed, if I could see it in the British album charts for just 1 week, I won't feel I'd let all the participants down, the record company, my family, not knowing that within a week or two of its release, it would start a run of 330 consecutive weeks in the album charts, and it just took off around the world.
Do you feel the pressure to have to freshen it up, to reinvent aspects of it for a different audience, a younger audience perhaps?
I don't feel a pressure. I do feel at the end of every production that I can put hand on heart and say what we did this time round was hopefully the very best from any previous one. I wrote a new song in 2014, and it's remained in the production ever since because it's gone down so well. Why did I write a new song? Because I just felt there was something that hadn't been said in my original, and it works so well in the live production.
For those who haven't seen the show, what would you say to them about why they should come and watch this? What can they learn about, I guess, humanity and the state of our nature?
Well, I hope that it's a roller coaster ride of emotions that take you through every high and low. The show has evolved in ways that I never would have dreamed of to start with, and here we are coming back to Manchester and Liverpool. And I know already from people that I've been in touch with or have been in touch with me just in the last day that I've been here, saying they are looking forward so much to coming yet again because they know it will give them a different roller coaster of emotions.
Jeff, I know it's going to be an outstanding show. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Yeah, it is indeed, isn't it? Yeah. The War of the Worlds, the Spirit of the Man UK tour kicks off on the 28th of March and will be performing at 17 dates, including Manchester on the 6th of April and also Liverpool a few days later.
Here's the weather show.
Why do I need a shower? I've been out in the rain.
The faster you go, the sooner you'll be out. You'll save water too.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
Thank you. A very good evening to you. Bits and pieces of brightness around today, but there's been a fair amount of cloud cover. High pressure will dominate our weather through the rest of the working week, and that means mostly dry conditions, pretty mild by day, plenty of sunshine to look forward to. And it's really only into the weekend when things become more changeable and we can expect some rain. The details pressure-wise then, tonight and into tomorrow, high pressure just hanging on in there to the southeast of us, and that's keeping things dry and settled. Fronts kept at bay to the northwest. And for our part of the world, a nice afternoon to come tomorrow with lots of sunshine. Back to this evening's details. Low cloud, mistiness and fog for the Lakeland Fells and the Pennines. But we're beginning to see skies clearing from the Midlands northwards, so into parts of Derbyshire, Cheshire, Merseyside by the end of the night. Clear skies, and temperatures will dip to 1 or 2 Celsius in those rural areas, but most places avoid a frost tonight. Winds increase in strength, especially for Irish Sea coast before dawn. A dry start to Tuesday. And the sun will be up tomorrow at 6:53. It sets at 5:53 tomorrow evening. Perhaps it might be cloudy where you are, North Lancashire, Cumbria, the Isle of Man to start the day, but very quickly that breeze peps up and it will blow the cobwebs away. In fact, it should be a really nice afternoon for most of us. Bright and breezy, pretty windy for Irish Sea coast in fact, but inland, sheltered from that wind, 11, maybe 12 Celsius will feel quite spring-like, and it's dry and settled and clear again tomorrow night. Temperatures just dipping away over the next couple of nights. Pretty chilly, but by day, fine. Temperatures peaking on Thursday, and it's really only into the weekend when it becomes more changeable, with rain in store. Bye-bye.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
Spring's my favourite time of the year. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.